Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos everyone. Thank you again for watching our weekly video that's put together by myself and by our musical director and organist, Prestia. Let's begin with a cleansing breath. Let's let go of any of the aggravation of the past week so we can properly welcome Shabbat. And we'll turn to page 120 to light our Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we'll continue on page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Let's continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And Baruch Hu is on page 264. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, u'vitvuna mishane itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, u'misader et ha'kochavim, b'mishmarotehem barakia kirtsono. Borei yom v'layla, goler or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, u'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil bein yom u'vein layla, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Page 266. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world. In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching, At each moment we stand face to face with truth. In each age we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema is on page 267. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta, page 268. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam Beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beineinecha uktabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Page 269. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, but there is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom. Bichamocha, page 270. Page 271. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru, page 272. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabat, la'asot et Hashabat ledorotam b'ridolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabat, la'asot et Hashabat ledorotam b'ridolam. B'nei uven b'nei Yisrael od hi leolam, od hi leolam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabat, la'asot et Hashabat ledorotam b'ridolam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabat, la'asot et Hashabat ledorotam b'ridolam. U'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yirfash, Shabbat v'yirfash, Shabbat v'yirfash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabat, la'asot et Hashabat ledorotam b'ridolam. We continue with Tefillah on page 273. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Velohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Lifnei B'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Ata kadosh b'shimcha kadosh u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. If you have your prayer books, let's continue together on page 278. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in such a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 281. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise. For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For life and nature, harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha ne'el lehodot. Shalom Rav is on page 282. Shalom Rav, Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Ki atah melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atah melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Am Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Am Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. B'tov be'enecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. Bechol עיר ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב, ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב, ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם. We pause now for a moment of silent reflection. Shabbat Shalom. I know we took a cleansing breath when services began a while ago, But I'd like us to take another one right now, long and deep, and think about the ways we can find a sense of peace. Although I know that most of us are feeling a little anxious these days, we're wearing masks, we're frightened about catching COVID-19, we're worried if we should send our kids back to school, and we're worried about keeping our kids at home instead. We need to take a moment to find a path to peace. After all, I think that's what many of us watch these videos every Friday night are all about. To experience a sense of comfort, community, and calm. Now, I'm really not a meditation expert. I'm more of a get-down-to-business kind of guy, but when I see so many of us stressed out, anxious, and fighting depression and other forms of anxiety, I think it's time to use these moments we have praying together virtually to do our best to achieve a sense of calm. I spoke with a psychiatrist friend of mine last week, and she told me that there is an increase in the number of us who are on antidepressants, feel suicidal, and are experiencing PTSD. And we are experiencing a lockdown mentality of our own. Business is dropped everywhere. I think it's a pervading sense of fear that is getting in the way of our day-to-day lives. We would rather just stay at home than take any risks outside of our comfort zone. And for many of us, staying at home is the most healthy option in the world in which we live in today. I hope we can try to relax a little more, take better care of ourselves, and stop to breathe before we put on our masks and walk out of the door of our homes. That cleansing breath is a very good idea. The mask is a better one. Maybe that's the way to find a sense of peace, by thinking of the people we meet outside of our homes as family and being more familiar with each other instead of being so tense. Finding a sense of peace begins inside of each and every one of us. It begins by taking a cleansing breath, by telling ourselves that this won't last forever, or is it worth it when we are about to make a decision that may affect us and not really affect anything else? Life is short, we all know that. Why not make life a combination of doing what we like, but in a slower, more measured way? Not with a sense of I must complete the task immediately, but with a sense of finding peace and satisfaction in what we're doing, step by step, as a sacred pilgrimage. At a time when many of us feel that the world is out of control, maybe it's time for us to take a quiet moment and center ourselves and take control in a quiet, sensitive, and peaceful way. Take a moment, take a breath, take time, and work toward finding a sense of peace within yourself. Shabbat Shalom. And now, as we do every week, we turn to page 371 and we take a moment to sing the beautiful Debbie Friedman Mishaberach. And as we sing this beautiful song, we think about those in our community who are sick and in need of healing, the caregivers in our midst, those of us whose pain and anxiety is felt on the inside rather than shown on the outside, and make a connection to God in a peace and calm way. Mishaberach, page 371. We say together, Baruch Atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. We praise you, Adonai, our God, who heals the sick. And we all say, Amen. Let's continue now with Aleinu on page 586. Those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach eruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'galo b'zman kariv v'yimaru amen, yehesh shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yama v'yimaru amen, yehesh shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen, Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all of us who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say, Amen. Chris, let's end with Adon Olam on page 625. Let's have a good time with this, all right? Here we go. Adon Olam asher malach v'ter kol yetzer nivra le'et nesav v'chef sachor zay malach shemo nekra Adon Olam v'yachaveh tichrotav kol levado yimloch nora Adon Olam ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh v'tifara Adon Olam asher malach v'ter kol yetzer nivra le'et nesav v'chef sachor zay malach shemo nekra Adon Olam v'ya'ado avki gruchi ve'ektishan ve'a'ira Adon Olam ve'gruchi geviati Adon Olam v'lo ira Adon Olam asher malach v'ter kol yetzer nivra le'et nesav v'chef sachor zay malach shemo nekra Adon Olam. Now let me ask God's blessings on all of us on this Shabbat. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our mothers and fathers, grant us a Shabbat filled with rest and peace, and grant us a week ahead filled with good health and joy. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will, and we say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.